Welcome back to the Shop Mini RC, everybody. I'm Ken, and today we're looking at the SCX30. Ours all upgraded with a bunch of Mofo stuff, but we are still on the stock electronics, but a Mofo motor here. This is the Neo Beast brush motor, which is a fantastic little upgrade motor if you're trying to stay with the stock electronics and transmitter and receiver and whatnot, which is a very good setup. But if you do want to go brushless, you can throw just about any SCX24 motor mount in there. Motor that mounts, essentially. It's got the same bolt pattern, and you should be able to throw just about anything as long as it's a Mod 3, 11 tooth, maybe a 10 or a 9 tooth. If you really want to try to get in there and adjust it on that plate, we'll give that a look when we get in there. But what we're going to throw in there is a Mofo Nano BAM. So this is the 3500 kV motor. It's also got an ESC in here. I'm not sure which ESC we're running, actually. This is probably the RockWolf, I believe. I don't know. We'll look here. We're going to dive into this. We're going to go brushless. I'm going to show you how to do the brushless upgrade, whether you're using the Mofo stuff or any other brand, as long as it's an SCX bolt pattern and the Mod 3 gearing, 11 tooth pinion, basically standard SCX motor. You should be fine. All you got to do is make sure you got room for the electronics, and you should be good with just about any other motor. Probably not going to be able to use the big pancake motors. Those aren't going to fit, obviously, but these smaller barrel motors, even this big one, the Nano BAM, will fit in there. There is also the Nano Beast, and the Nano Beast is a little bit smaller than this. So if you happen to think you might have clearance issues for some reason, you could always go with the smaller Nano Beast. All right, there's also the FearTech stuff and the Endura stuff, and again, any of this style of motor, you should be totally fine. Let's go ahead and dive into this thing. All right, so here is the ESC. This is the RockWolf ESC, and you can get it for the brushed or brushless. Either way, it's a 32-bit brushless brushed ESC, and it's pretty small. There are, I believe, two versions. This is the version 2. The first version has plugs for these wires, for both the power and the motor wires, but now the V2, it's a little bit smaller in overall size, and the extension wires are soldered straight on the board, so it's not plugs on the board. So it actually makes it quite a bit thinner. You can see it's just like 5 millimeters, 5 millimeters thick, not including the wire here. If you include the wire, you're at 11, 10 and a half, essentially. So pretty small, 18 millimeters wide, and then the length, just the board here, 28 millimeters. So overall, pretty small footprint though, and nice and basically a decased type ESC, and yeah, has the SCX24 style plug for the battery, and then our motor works straight up with the Mofo motors. And some other motors too, so that's good there. And again, this is a fully programmable ESC. It does come with the programmer. Where did it go? Programmer right here. And so that's nice. You just will need a USB-C plug to plug into your computer or laptop, whatever, so that you can run the update software. We're not going to go over any of the update software in this video. Maybe at some point we will, but I believe Mofo has a link on their website to a setup video, so that's cool. He also has some pre-programming options, I believe, that are already kind of set up with the low voltage set to 3.3 per cell and some other things of that nature. So it's just kind of already pre-programmed and set up for what he thinks is ideal. But if you want to get in there and change things, you definitely can. The 32-bit systems are heavily supported, so there's a lot of information out there if you want to look up the 32-bit ESC programming options and just kind of what's going on there as far as running all the different very detailed settings. So very cool. And then, like I said, we're running the Nano BAM here, which is the bigger of the two between the Nano BAM and the Nano Beast. This is going to be pretty quick. This might be a little too much for this little guy, but I figured if this works, then anything else smaller is going to work just as well. So definitely excited. We'll go ahead and open this up and show you how to install that, but I do want to plug this in just to make sure we're going to be make sure everything's working before I get in there. We are running a MIS transmitter and receiver. These little guys here, they have the micro plugs here, and they also come with these adapters. If you want to minimize your wiring, I would recommend switching all of your plugs over to the micro plug. That means, cutting your servo wire and putting a new plug end on it, and resoldering a new plug end on here as well. Actually, I believe this is one of the few. Yeah, you could actually just find an adapter here that goes. This is the same plug as what's here, so you just need a male to male. You can plug in here, plug in there, and you don't have to do anything different there, but you will have to adjust your servo plug to run on these little micro receivers here. These things are so tiny, and it's a 4-channel, which is really cool. So we might be able to save our lights, which would be nice because your lights do plug in here, and you'll need a way to power your lights. And I believe the MIAS transmitter, actually, like channel 3, will act as an on and off in the transmitter itself. You can just use the buttons and it'll turn the channel on and off without needing an actual light controller. So that could be cool too. Just know that you've got that option with the MIAS transmitter. And yeah, we have a full deep dive video on this guy if you want to check that on the channel as well. Same with all the stuff on this, all the things on this. We have a full video we just dropped showing all the upgrades, the new Pocket Snake chassis, as well as this 737 Modzilla lifted chassis to get us these big 0.7-inch tires on there. It's a big fatty RC all-wheel drive tires. And then the Mofo weighted wheels. We got the brass in the front and the aluminum in the back to get us some good forward weight bias. And yeah, so definitely check out that video, steering link, underneath links, all that stuff. Get us some good weight down low. But yeah, let's go ahead and plug this guy in. Let's see, channel 1, channel 2 for our ESC, and then we'll just go ahead and plug her in. We already have this receiver bound. There is no on and off switch on here, just auto on, which I like. Okay, good. Our endpoints, I was worried our endpoints might not be good here, but there we go. Yeah, buddy. Should be good. Let's get it in. So this little guy is pretty easy to work on, actually. It's just these 4 screws on top of the transmission, and that'll help us pop off our entire transmission. There's no screws on the bottom of the skid here. So you just need to remove the 4 Phillips screws on the top. Bam, super easy. This should just pull right out, just like so. See the gear in there? Again, these are just regular SCX24 axle worm gear setups. Very cool. And Mofo even has some different gearing if you wanted to ever change these worm gear and pinion gears out, you could. Just be aware that they have higher tolerances. They're much tighter tolerance on the Mofo stuff. So you might have to kind of work it a little bit. Might be a little snug in there, but you should be able to get it to go. Especially on this worm gear inside the transmission. He had mentioned that it's pretty tight. So just be aware if you do upgrade that, it might be tight. You might need to work it a little bit. You might need to polish up the ends of the worm gear, you know, where your drive shaft typically connects. You polish up those ends and then it'll fit super snug. Because again, his tolerances are tighter than the actual stock ones. So that's typically a good thing, but in this situation, it means they might be a little snug. So that gets us this out here. And you know what? I don't even know if we needed to pull this whole thing off to get to this. I think oh, yeah, probably. Because this might be tight in there with the battery and the chassis rails and stuff. But then we can go ahead and just pull out the screws here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws. And that'll expose our motor. So we can get the screws off for our motor and get the new motor mounted in. Ta-da. Easy peasy, guys. Super simple. I love this transmission. I love the way this car is set up. It's such an easy thing to work on. For how small it is, oh man, they did a killer job. And we've got our 2 screws here for our motor mount. And this should just drop right out for us. There we go. And there are multiple mounts in here. Let's see if we can pull this out real quick just so you can see underneath there. Get this gear out. These gears are all ran dry, so you don't need to lube them up. They're a plastic, there we go, a plastic gear. And you can see there, though, there are multiple motor mounts. So that's super nice, allowing us to mount in different motors if they have a slightly different bolt pattern, or more specifically for the gear mesh, right? That'll get us a better gear mesh. Now we should be able to just get this guy straight in there. I do need to look at how this is going to sit. It's going to sit like this. So we want our wires. Where do we want our wires coming out? Probably right toward the back there. So we should be good to, maybe that's to come out the top. Can we get them to come out the bottom? No, don't want to come out the bottom. That won't work. Let's see. It's just kind of a matter of test fitting it. We want it to come out as far back as possible here. We'll see how it fits with our gear, our spur gear and our pinion gear. And again, like I said, this right here, if you were to ever replace these gears with some underdrive or overdrive, if you're trying to speed up the whole truck or slow the whole truck down, you might need to just kind of polish up the ends on this worm gear to get it to fit into this plastic gear here. Because like I said, the Mofo is much tighter tolerance than stock. All right, actually we'll go ahead and do this. Get it all put back in and see how we line up here. So our pinion is sitting just a little low. I would prefer to have that pinion out just a little more. It should be fine like that. There's plenty of meat there, but if you do want to move your pinion forward, you might want to use like a little pinion puller to get that guy to come forward a little bit. Just be careful you don't damage the motor when you're trying to move that pinion on the shaft. I just went ahead and used some flush cuts, got them underneath the pinion, but above the little C-clip there, and I was able to just kind of get it to slide forward just a little bit. Hopefully it stays nice and snug there, but this should help us align a lot better on our gearing. Make sure our motor wires here good. And yeah, that gets us much closer on our gearing. So that'll be good. And then we just need to get our screws in, and we should be golden. Let's see. Which way? Maybe like this. Yeah, so I think we're actually going to just run 2 screws in here. They're not going to be directly across from each other because we can't get the wire. Let's see, maybe we can. Maybe we can. It's going to be snug, but I think we can do it. Get the wires to come out right there. Just like that. So the wires are going to be kind of coming out the top here. We couldn't get it to lay all the way back and then have a successful bolt pattern here. So we ended up just leaving it coming out the top there. And then we use the 2 screw holes here. And it's nice and snug. Got a good mesh. And should be pretty smooth. Again, we can throw our case back on here and try to run it before we install it all the way back in, just to kind of feel it out. But I think we're good. It feels nice. Should be a good fit there. Went ahead and got 2 screws in just to make sure our cover is nice and snug and all of our bearings stay seated how they're supposed to, just so that we could go ahead and test it before we put it all back together. Make sure it's nice and smooth. Yeah, it's going to be good, guys. That's going to be good. It's going to rip. This might be too much. We could always put some underdrive gears in here and slow down the gearing and get a ton of torque. That might be an option as well. Or just go with the Nano Beast versus the Nano Bam. But like I said, it's good to see if this thing will fit for anybody trying to do something crazy. At least you'll know. And again, we are rocking the aftermarket chassis here, but the stock chassis is going to be just fine. We're going to have to change our side sliders here so that we can put the flat ones on, right? Because we don't need this ESC and stuff. We need somewhere to put our electronics. So we'll mount our electronics on the side or on this plate back here. We'll probably put our ESC on the plate in the back, and then our receiver, we'll probably mount that here on the side somewhere. But that's going to be the plan. Let me go ahead and get this transmission put back on there, and then we can feel how it feels all together, make sure everything's running right, and then we'll swap over our sliders and put our electronics on. And there we go, ladies and gents. So simple. Literally just the 4 screws up here, and then the 5 screws on the cover, and the 2 screws for the motor. Don't have to disconnect the drive shafts, links, move anything. Such an easy, I mean, easier than the SCX24. And look at that. Ooh, look at that slow crawl. Look at that slow crawl. Let's go. Doesn't have quite as much rip as I thought it was going to, which is actually a good thing. I was worried it's going to be too fast, but I think we're going to be. Oh, we're reversed right now. Yeah, it's not too fast. Still a little creepy crawler, but definitely going to have tons of granularity. Oh my god, barely moving. So good. So good. Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and swap our sliders and get our electronics in there. Now the SCX30 does come with 2 sliders, one for each side, but we're going to only replace the one side with the ESC. I like the battery on the side slider over there. It definitely is going to be better than trying to figure out a different way to mount that stock battery, especially if you're looking to do an even smaller battery or a different shaped battery. Maybe you want to put it on the rear deck here, or try to somehow figure out a way to put it up here underneath the body because you have a smaller battery. Then yeah, sure, go ahead and use the other flat slider that comes with the SCX30. But because we're going to use the stock battery slider, there's no reason to swap it out. I like it. I like the little rubber bandy strap that holds it down, and we just need to give ourselves a little bit of space on this side for our receiver. Get those nice and snug. Remember, don't over tighten, don't strip out the screws. It is Phillips head, and it is plastic, and it is tiny. So, all right. And plenty of clearance. Even when the slider was on there, the slider has kind of this plastic guard piece that slips into there, which takes up even more space near the motor, but the motor had plenty of room. We weren't rubbing, nothing. So that's super awesome to see. The only concern I have now is maybe these lights. This light wire we might have to route in a different way, or maybe tuck it up and over. I'm not sure what we're going to do yet. We'll see how we want to do that here in a minute, but let me go ahead and get these electronics on here now. So it looks like, unfortunately, our receiver, even though it's super tiny, if we sit it flat, it's going to be wider than our slider here. So we would have to mount it on the side, which does not exactly mount the most comfortably. We could mount it like this, I guess, to the transmission housing. We could do that, which isn't horrible. But I think we're just going to go ahead and mount it right here on the back on top of this ESC. Just kind of slap it down on there, and it's still pretty low. Definitely not ideal for our side-to-side weight bias, but I'm sure if we really wanted to get in there, we could adjust things. We could literally solder straight to the board and get this thing super flat, remove all these plug housings, and solder straight to the board, get it, where it'd sit flush all the way. That is something we could definitely do. And actually, to that point, our wires here, again, generally this is for a larger SCX24. So our wires are kind of long. So we kind of have this long wiry mess along with this, plus our extensions, right? If we just had a receiver that was a larger receiver, we could plug straight into that without using these little adapters. But, really, if you're going to permanently install this and this is where you want this ESC and motor to be, this is going to be its home, always and forever, just cut all your wires and resolder stuff. We would literally cut these 3 motor wires and solder them straight to it. So that's the extent of our wiring versus having all of this extra here. It would literally just go straight to the ESC there. And then same with our receiver wires. And then even our battery wire here, we'd shorten that guy up quite a bit, get it down to here. Maybe just have enough on there just to be able to manipulate it to get the battery going good. That's it. Super simple, trying to keep it nice and clean. But just for demonstration purposes here, we're going to leave all of our wiring. We'll probably clean it up as far as wrapping it and spiraling it. But I'm not going to do any soldering today. I just want to get this guy in here, show you how it performs with the brushless motor, and show you that it can be done. Brushless motor installs very easily. And just got to make sure you have a small enough receiver, and this RockWolf is small enough too. Fits perfect on the little ESC tray. Even on the stock, there would be plenty of room there to put that RockWolf ESC there. You might have to snip these little wire management pieces to get it to sit completely flush, but I think you'd be fine there, just mounting it straight to the stock chassis, no problem. All right, let me clean up these wires and get this mounted to the top of the ESC, and then we'll probably go run it. And there we have it, ladies and gents. Kind of cleaned up again. Not ideal. There's a lot of wire in there. Cutting it down and resoldering would probably be the way to go. But again, I don't know what we're going to do with this guy. We might end up swapping things around. Who knows? So right now I'm just kind of leaving it. But once I've decided what it's going to be forever, especially with like the servo and stuff, then we'll clean up all the wiring. I already did a shorter adapter here. You can kind of see from our ESC to our receiver. It's just this wire here, so much shorter. than what was before. Our biggest offender right now is the motor wire to the ESC wire, which is this and the black wire. So it looks kind of like a rat's nest there, but it's chaotically organized. Also, we got our lights. They plugged right into our just two sides here, our positive and our negative. We left our signal wire out, and I was able to kind of force it. They're not really the right size plug, but they fit, and it got us rear tail lights always on the channel 4, but then our channel 3 is able to be used with this A button here to turn on and off. So we do still have on and off on here with the MIA's transmitter in our channel 3. We could splice it and put the rear wires also into channel 3 and they would go on and off, but it's okay with having the rear lights on, I think, all the time. I'm okay with that. I just want to be able to turn off the headlights so we don't have them always on. But it's better than stock even, because stock is just always on. So very cool, and obviously we're running nice and buttery smooth. Yeah, buddy. Super slow crawl. Just trying to get my finger to barely give it any, just till it engages. Look at that. Pretty awesome. Again, not a total ripper. I wish I had a second one so I could compare side to side. Maybe we'll go get a second one here shortly. I do want to get the Jeep, so hopefully we'll get the Jeep at some point, but yeah, it's there. I love that this stuff just bolts right in and it's as easy as it is. Literally takes no. The biggest time consumer is like figuring out how we're gonna clean up our wiring. That's really the biggest time consumer. But yeah, if you're not overly worried about that, then it's super quick and easy to install. The one thing you do need to be aware of when installing an outrunner like this is wires. You don't want them anywhere near the motor. And the only wire that's really near the motor, we can see I routed the servo wire through here, and it goes actually behind the battery down in there, kind of tucked down into that gray wire. So that's nice and snug in there. It's not going anywhere. It's not rubbing the motor. And then the only other place where we might, or the only place where we might at all rub is on these lights here. So I just kind of pull them out and make sure they're stiff wires. They're pretty stiff. So just keep them away from the motor so that it doesn't get caught up in there. Keep them away from our body clip, and we're golden there. If you had long enough wires, or depending where you put your receiver, if we put the receiver on the other side and swap these around, you can run the wires all along this side, and that would be much safer to get away from the motor, but you're not putting your battery on this side because you're not going to have room with that motor in there. It's hanging out and pushing over. So definitely keep an eye on that. Don't get any wires caught in your motor, and you should be good to go. I'm digging it. I'm digging all the Mofo upgrades. Very cool. Tires are a little big, just a little bit for my taste. I wish it was just a little smaller. I do still kind of like this chassis lift kit that we've got going on here. A little plus 7mm to fit those big tires. I just wish we weren't rubbing quite as bad as we are when we're under any kind of compression. It just definitely rubs. But it is what it is. Maybe we'll trim the body a little bit. I don't know. A lot of rubbing though. But that's what you get when you put big old tires on there. Again, stock tires are not nearly as big. Look at that. So definitely some biggins there. Beefy boys. All right, very cool.
Tiny tires spin with the Mofo grin. Nano band roaring like it's born for the wind. Mountain Blox rise up, steep like a wall, but the Mofo torque hits hard, never stalls. RockWolf whispering smooth on the throttle, precision so clean it could climb a glass bottle. Every little pebble feels big as a boulder, but Mofo power makes a small rig feel bolder. Grips locked in and the frame don't fold. Nano band hard with a brushless soul. Eyes on the climb, yeah, the trail gets mean, but Mofo makes a monster out of this machine. We're rocking on the Mountain Blox, Mofo motor in slow motion like a hero scene. Every throttle pull feeling crisp and clean. No fear on the ledge when the cliffside cracks. Mofo power always got your back. Throttle pulls warm like a heartbeat stud. Claws dig down in the dust and mud. What's a mountain now? Just another small shot. Mofo said climb, so the SCX30 falls. Nano band humming, trail stars drumming. RockWolf go when the hard line's coming. Motor in the way, yeah, the 30 loves it. Let the torque talk loud while the tires running. We're rocking on the Mountain Blox. Mofo motor in the box. Nano bam unleashed, yeah, never stops. RockWolf ESC steady on the drops. Little rig, big heart. When the hilltop mark, we're rocking, yeah. Mofo rocking on the Mountain Blox. Tiny truck, big climb, Mofo got it right. Every little trail becomes a boss fight. SCX30 rising while the dust cloud talks. We're rocking on the Mountain Blox. That's Mofo rocking on the Mountain Blox. Mofo rocking on the Mountain Blox.
Alrighty, guys. I mean, it's pretty smooth. You can see how slow that slow crawl is. It's super slow. Look at that. You can't even tell it's moving. I can slow it down even more. But it is super buttery smooth, guys. Great little setup for these things. The brass obviously helps. Oh no! Tried. Oh, this is pretty steep. This is actually this is meant for the 24s and 18s, but man, this little guy handles it pretty well. Got to hit the lines right. Oh, it's gonna be rough. Yeah, it's a big rock there. But yeah, pretty cool little rig. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, we got it. Give a little bit of this way just for a second. Try to get that rear tire up. Yeah. Oh, so steep. So steep. But trying to get her to flip over. Yeah, let's go. Either way, guys, cool rig. I'm having a blast with it. For sure. And these MountainBlox, they're pretty dope. They're pretty dope. We'll have a whole video on these things as well. We just got them in. Kind of wanted to mess with them. Definitely need a little better steering. We need some, I think we need some underdrive or overdrive for these little guys. Get us a much better turn radius. The steering angle is not the hottest. But yeah, very cool. All right, let's wrap her up. Oh, yeah, we're done. Well, there we have it, ladies and gents. Mofo Brushless System, the RockWolf ESC. Got it right there. That Nano BAM, that big beastly, fitting in there nice and tidy. Yeah, buddy. Great little setup. Great little setup. Plus, it's Mofo, so you know he's going to stand behind the product. You know there's going to be great customer service and just quality product in general. Plus, it's all American made, right? It's American. It's an American company. You know, some of the stuff they have to have made overseas, but most of it, anything he can make over here, he's going to make over here. So definitely like to support that, and love to see the innovation and the quick releases. And yeah, definitely go check out the other video on our chassis links, steering link, all that stuff. He's got 4 different chassis, well, 2 different styles, brass and aluminum of each. And so 4 different options, I guess, and then wheels and tires and all kinds of stuff, guys. Definitely go check out the website, see what else he's got. I'm sure he's going to have more by the time this video comes out. So yeah, I appreciate everybody watching. Thank you for hanging out all the way to the end. Why don't you go ahead and put BAM! Exclamation point down in the comments below if you made it all the way to the end. That way I know you watched the whole video. BAM! We've got the Nano BAM in here. And huge shout out to all of our channel members. Everybody over here is a channel member. They get to see the videos early before anybody else without ads. They also get priority comment replies, behind the scenes videos, access to a specific channel in our Discord. If you're into Discord, check that out down in the description below. It's a great community for all things small scale RC, people sharing builds, asking questions, helping others, sharing memes and stuff, all kinds of fun stuff. So definitely join the Discord if you want to hang out with an awesome community. I like to hang out in there quite a bit, so you'll see me from time to time. Also, yeah, thank you just to everybody watching, all the subscribers, everybody who comments. Definitely put a comment down below and let us know your thoughts on this setup, on anything, the Mountain Blox, the Mofo stuff, the Mias transmitter with the awesome ability to keep our front headlights working, which is awesome. Yeah, anything like that, let's have a discussion down in the comments below. And yeah, I appreciate everybody. If you can't be a channel member, totally understand, but at least click that like or that subscribe or that share or that notification bell or all 4. Just click for you. It means the world to me. Helps support the channel and helps us produce videos that you want to see, things that you like. If you don't like it, you don't have to click it. Click the thumbs down button twice if you don't like the video. Just click it twice to show me you don't like it. Anyway, guys, thank you all for the support. Everybody who helps share videos, comments, you know, channel members, everybody. You guys are all awesome. We're getting ready to reach a pretty big milestone for us, so I can't wait to get there. So sharing the channel and sharing the videos that you think other people will want to see definitely help grow the channel and allows me to keep doing this. I put a ton of time and effort into these videos, and I try to release as much as I can and make sure I go as detailed as I can for those videos, that it makes sense and give you all the information, whether you're a veteran or a new guy. I hope the videos speak to you and give you a little bit of information and entertainment. Alrighty, guys, thank you all again. Hit that subscribe, and then yeah, get out there and build something awesome. You can build a car, you can build a course, you can build a community. All those things keep this hobby going, and it's the best part of the hobby. And then smash it, crash it, and bash it, but don't break the expensive parts. Peace, everybody.